I still remember the first time I had to speak English in front of people. My hands were shaking. My heart was beating fast. My mind went blank. I had practiced the sentence so many times in my head. But when the moment came, I forgot everything. That day, I couldn't even say a simple sentence like, "Can I go to the washroom?" Everyone laughed. I felt small, stupid, and broken. That moment stayed with me for years. I started believing that English was not for people like me. It was for the smart, rich, or lucky ones. Not for someone who came from a small town, studied in a local language school, and never had an English-speaking environment. But deep inside, I wanted to change. I didn't want to feel embarrassed anymore. I didn't want to avoid job interviews or social gatherings because of one language. I wanted to speak, write, and think in English. I wanted to be understood, and respected. That was the beginning. The fear didn't disappear overnight. But I decided to face it. At first, I didn't know why I wanted to learn English. I thought it was just for a job or for passing an exam. But then I realized, it was more than that. I wanted to learn English because I was tired of depending on others to translate things for me. I wanted to watch movies, read books, and understand the world. I wanted to express myself without fear. I wanted freedom. English was the key. This why gave me energy. When people laughed at my broken sentences, I remembered my purpose. When I felt lazy or tired, I remembered why I started. I didn't start with grammar books. I didn't start by speaking. I started with listening. Every day, I listened to English for just 5 minutes. That's it. No pressure. I chose things I liked. Simple cartoons, Peppa Pig, Dora the Explorer. Short videos with subtitles. English songs with lyrics on screen. At first, I understood only a few words. But I didn't stop. I didn't worry about understanding everything. I just kept listening. Slowly, my ears started recognizing sounds and words. I repeated what I heard, even if I didn't understand it. Chapter 4, Speaking to Myself. This part was funny, but powerful. I started talking to myself in English. In front of the mirror. While brushing my teeth. While walking alone. I talked about simple things. I am going to eat lunch now. This dress is blue. I don't want to go outside. It was weird. But it helped. I was practicing without fear of judgment. I was training my tongue and brain. Later, I started adding more emotions. I feel tired today. I am proud of myself for trying. I made a mistake, but I will learn. I created a rule, write 5 sentences every day in English. It didn't matter if they were wrong. I just wrote them. Example. Today is Sunday. I woke up at 8 a.m. I ate breakfast. I watched TV. I feel lazy. Sometimes, I looked up words. Sometimes, I guessed. The goal was to express my day, every day. After 3 months, I had a small notebook filled with hundreds of sentences. It wasn't perfect, but it was progress. One powerful habit I built was watching English content with subtitles. Step by step. Watch English videos with English subtitles. Try to read and listen at the same time. Pause and repeat difficult parts. Later, watch the same video without subtitles. I chose slow content first, cooking shows, travel vlogs, simple interviews. Gradually, I moved to movies and TED Talks. This helped my listening, reading, vocabulary, and confidence, all at once. Instead of big goals, I focused on small wins. Learning 1 new word a day. Saying 1 sentence out loud. Reading 1 short article. Listening to 1 small podcast. Writing 1 paragraph. I celebrated each win. I rewarded myself with a cup of tea or a short walk. These small steps built big confidence. 6 months after starting my journey, I got a chance to introduce myself in a community class. It was just 3 sentences. I stood up, took a deep breath, and said, "Hello. My name is, your name. I am learning English. I am happy to speak today." My voice trembled. My heart raced. But I did it. Nobody laughed. In fact, people clapped. That day changed everything. I realized, I was no longer afraid. Nervous, yes. But not afraid. Here's what I learned in those early months. English is not just a language, it's a mindset. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Be afraid of silence. Practice a little every day, it's more powerful than studying a lot once in a while. You don't need fancy books or classes. You need consistency and courage. After some time, I stopped saying, "I am learning English." I started saying, "I speak English. I'm improving every day." That shift changed everything. I started thinking of myself as a speaker. Not a beginner. Not a student. A speaker. And it all began from home, from small steps, taken with courage. Everyone said, "Find someone to talk to." But I had no one. No fluent friends. No English-speaking family. No one to correct me. For a while, I thought I was stuck. But then I changed my thinking. What if speaking alone is not a problem, but a powerful method? That's when my real speaking journey began. I discovered a technique called shadowing. It changed everything. Here's how it works. Play a short clip of a native speaker, 1 to 2 minutes. Listen carefully once. Then play again, and repeat exactly what they say, as fast and as closely as possible, without pausing. At first, it was hard. I stumbled. I sounded robotic. But after weeks of practice, I improved my accent. Learned rhythm and sentence stress. Spoke faster and more confidently. I shadowed movie scenes, podcasts, TED Talks, and even English interviews. I made a game out of speaking English. I acted out conversations. For example, performing arts at a restaurant. "Excuse me, can I have the menu please? I'd like a coffee, no sugar. Thank you." Performing arts at an airport. "Where is gate 12? I have a connecting flight to London." Performing arts job interview. "Tell me about yourself." "I am hardworking, honest, and eager to learn." I recorded these scenes on my phone. I played both roles. It felt like I was in a movie, but I was also learning to speak naturally in real situations. I kept a rule: talk to yourself for 10 minutes every day. What did I talk about? What I did today. What I plan to do tomorrow. My opinions, feelings, random thoughts. It felt strange in the beginning. But slowly, I noticed improvement. My vocabulary grew. My sentences became longer. I didn't freeze while thinking. Sometimes I'd say, "Okay, so today was good. I finished my work. I feel proud. Tomorrow, I want to be more productive. Maybe I'll go for a walk too." Talking to myself made me fluent, fast. This was a game changer. Every day, I recorded a short speech on my phone. My favorite movie. Why I want to learn English. What I'd do if I had $1 million. After recording, I listened carefully. Did I hesitate? Did I repeat words? Did I sound clear? I compared my recordings after 30 days. I couldn't believe the change. I sounded more natural. More confident. Tip: don't delete old recordings. They show your progress. I gave myself solo speaking challenges. Small Blue Diamond Challenge 1, speak about any object near you for 3 minutes. Example, this is my chair. It's brown and made of wood. I sit on it when I study. Small Blue Diamond Challenge 2, give a speech on any random topic. Example, rainy days make me feel calm. Small Blue Diamond Challenge 3, tell a story. Last month, I went to a market. These daily monologues train me to think fast and speak without preparation. I made a list of 100 basic English questions. What's your name? What do you like to eat? What makes you happy? Then I practiced answering them out loud. Not once, but again and again. I changed my answers to make them more interesting. I even answered follow-up questions like in an interview. I became my own English coach. I started a new mental habit, describe what you see, in English. Example. There's a blue bottle on the table. The fan is spinning slowly. The sunlight is coming through the window. This made me think and speak at the same time. No translation. No overthinking. This is how I trained my brain to stay in English mode, even without talking to anyone. One of the most powerful habits I built was speaking in front of the mirror. Here's how. Look into your own eyes. Speak like you're talking to someone else. Use gestures, facial expressions, and emotions. Some days I gave myself pep talks. You're doing great. Don't stop now. Fluency is coming. Other days, I practiced interviews, introductions, or storytelling. This built not just fluency, but confidence. I didn't wait for a perfect partner. I created my own English world. How? I changed my phone and apps to English. I followed only English YouTubers. I listened to English songs while working. I thought in English while cooking or walking. English was no longer just a subject. It was part of my life. Yes, literally. At night, when lights were off and I was about to sleep, I spoke softly in English. Today I learned a new phrase. I am proud of my small steps. These silent talks created a deep connection between my brain and the language. It became personal. Emotional. Natural. Here's how I tracked growth. Could I speak longer without pausing? Was I using new words naturally? Was my pronunciation improving? Did I feel less nervous? Every few weeks, I re-recorded the same topic and compared. Slowly, the fear disappeared. Fluency arrived, silently but surely. I used to speak fast to sound fluent, but it caused more errors. I learned to speak slowly and clearly. I memorized long speeches. I started thinking freely and speaking naturally. I compared myself with others. I began competing only with my past self. Everyone wants a speaking partner. But here's the truth. You are your best partner. You're always available. You understand your goals. You never judge yourself. If you can speak to yourself freely, you can speak to anyone confidently. In the beginning, I tried to memorize 50 words a day. I wrote them down. I repeated them aloud. I tested myself. And after 3 days, I forgot all of them. I realized something important. Memorized words without context are like empty boxes. You have them, but you don't know what to put inside. I needed a smarter method. A method where words stick naturally. That's when I began learning vocabulary through experience, emotion, and usage. I stopped learning from textbooks. Instead, I used things I loved. English songs. Movie subtitles. YouTube videos. Stories and short articles. Instagram quotes. Example, I heard the word wanderlust in a travel vlog. I looked it up. Meaning, a strong desire to travel. It touched me. It stayed with me. I remember the feeling, not just the meaning. That's how real vocabulary learning started. I created a powerful method. Step 1, learn one new word. Step 2, make your own sentence. Step 3, add emotion or memory to it. Example. Word, grateful. Sentence, I feel grateful for my peaceful life. Emotion, I thought of my family. My heart smiled. When I connect a word to a feeling or memory, I never forget it. I bought a small notebook and wrote. New words, only 5 per day. Their meanings, in simple English. My sentence using the word. A little sketch or emoji to match. Example entry. Serene equals calm, peaceful. The lake looked serene at sunset, National Park. This became my English treasure book. Chapter 5, Word Walls and Sticky Notes. I used sticky notes to decorate my room with words. Ceiling, on the roof. Mirror, on the mirror. Switch, near the switchboard. Chair, under my chair. Every time I saw them, I read them. My eyes became my teachers. Soon, I started thinking in English just by seeing my surroundings. I hated grammar rules. They confused me. So I did this instead. I watched native English speakers talk. I noticed how they used grammar. I copied their patterns. For example, I have been waiting. I heard it in a movie. I didn't know the tense name. But I understood it means something started in the past and is still happening. I learned grammar by feeling it, not naming it. I started using free tools like Grammarly and Quillbot to correct my writing. I wrote emails, diary entries, captions, and essays. Then I checked them with Grammarly. It showed me where I made mistakes, what the correct sentence should be, why it was wrong. I didn't memorize rules, I absorbed them through correction. I started reading short stories and simple novels. Here's how I read. Read one paragraph slowly. Highlight 2 to 3 new words. Guess meaning from the sentence. Look it up if I'm not sure. Write it down and reuse it later. Reading taught me sentence structure, idioms and phrases, real grammar in action. This is one of my most powerful daily exercises. Step 1, listen to a short audio, podcast, video. Step 2, write down what I understood in English. Step 3, check if I used correct tenses and vocabulary. Step 4, improve it using tools or by rewriting. This helped my grammar automatically. I didn't even realize I was learning tenses, articles, and sentence forms. Music helped me learn beautiful words. Example. Musical note, let it be. I learned the phrase means to leave something as it is. Musical note, someone like you. Helped me understand emotional expression. I searched for lyrics, listened deeply, and even sang them aloud. Words stick when your heart sings them. I paid attention to how people talk, not just what they say. For example. I've got to go. I'm gonna try. I'd rather s. I didn't know the exact grammar name, but I used it. Speaking naturally became easier because I copied how people really speak. Spiral calendar. Here's a weekly schedule I followed. Day focus. Monday learn 5 new words plus 5 new sentences. Tuesday watch video and shadow native speaker. Wednesday write 1 page in English plus check grammar. Thursday read short story plus mark vocabulary. Friday listen and write what I hear. Saturday revise everything. Sunday speak freely for 10 minutes plus record. With this cycle, grammar and vocabulary became a natural part of my life. I tried learning 100 words a day. I focused on 5 strong words daily. I memorized grammar rules. I practiced through real usage. I avoided reading. I read simple, interesting material. I used translation. I trained myself to think in English. Progress became visible when I changed how I learned. I used better vocabulary in my speech. I made fewer grammar errors. I could express my thoughts more clearly. People noticed my improvement. I felt more fluent, not perfect, but free. And I did all this without coaching, tuition, or boring books. I was learning words. I was writing sentences. I was practicing daily. But I still felt slow. I paused too much while speaking. I kept translating in my head. Something was blocking my fluency. That's when I realized. Fluency doesn't come just from knowledge, it comes from habit. I wasn't thinking in English. I was switching between languages inside my head. That switch was creating delay, fear, and confusion. So I made a decision. Backhand index pointing right, I'll train my mind to think in English. And it started with listening. I turned listening into a ritual. Not just a task, but a habit, something I lived. Every day. I listened while walking. I listened while eating. I listened while resting. I listened while cooking. I filled my ears with English podcasts, motivational speeches, English news, BBC, VOA, audiobooks, conversations between native speakers. The rule was, at least 1 hour of English audio every day. No excuses. In 30 days, my brain started to understand faster. Without translating. I didn't begin with fast or complex content. I started with slow podcasts for English learners, children's stories, beginner audiobooks, calm spoken videos. This helped me train my ears to new sounds, recognize words by tone, improve pronunciation subconsciously. I listened to the same story 3 to 4 times. Repetition made words stick. I wasn't just hearing, I was absorbing English. In the beginning, subtitles were my best friend. Phase 1, English audio plus English subtitles. Phase 2, English audio plus no subtitles. Phase 3, watch, listen, and summarize what I understood. Each level built my skill further. I trained my brain to match sound with meaning, not just with words on screen. Eventually, I watched whole shows without subtitles, and understood most of it. Both types helped me in different ways. Active listening, 30 minutes per day. Focus completely on what is being said. Write down keywords. Pause and repeat sentences. Imitate the speaker. Yellow circle passive listening, 1 to 2 HRS/day. Let English play in the background. While cleaning, walking, or relaxing. No pressure, just let it flow in. Together, they made English part of my environment, and my brain. Chapter 6, Listening and Speaking go hand in hand. As I listened more, I began to copy phrases. Use new expressions naturally. Improve sentence flow. Example. I heard, "That's not what I meant," in a TV show. I used it the same day while talking to myself. It became part of my speaking style. Listening wasn't just practice, it was preparation for speaking. I challenged myself. Brain for 1 hour daily, no native language thoughts. Everything must happen in English. At first, it was hard. But slowly, I started. Describing my actions, "I'm opening the door." Expressing feelings, "I'm a bit tired today." Asking questions, "What should I do next?" Thought by thought, English took over. I no longer had to translate. I started to live in English. Your inner voice is how you talk to yourself. Most people talk to themselves all day without realizing it. I just made one change. I switched my inner voice to English. Whenever I thought something like, "I'm hungry," I should reply to that message, "I'm not sure about this." I thought it in English. That constant repetition built mental fluency. I used this habit daily. Wherever I was, I described my surroundings in English. Example. There's a tree on the left. The sky is cloudy. I can hear a dog barking nearby. The road looks wet from the rain. This forced me to use basic sentence structures. Think in real time. Speak without planning. I used songs to build emotional vocabulary and improve listening. Musical notes step by step. Listen to a song I liked. Read the lyrics. Understand the meaning. Sing along. Use the phrases in my own sentences. Example. Don't give up on me became one of my favorite expressions. Music helped me feel English, not just learn it. I tried to understand everything at once. I learned to enjoy the rhythm, not every word. I listened without focus. I scheduled dedicated time for active listening. I only listened, didn't speak. I started repeating and using what I heard. I turned it into a game. Every time I caught myself thinking in my native language, I paused. Then I translated that thought to English immediately. With time, this became a powerful habit. Now, I naturally say, I need to get ready. Where did I keep my phone? Let me check the calendar. No translation. No delay. Just natural English thoughts. People think you need to travel abroad to learn English. But I created immersion at home. All my devices were in English. I followed only English pages and creators. My thoughts were in English. My fun, entertainment, and learning, all in English. You don't need a plane ticket. You just need discipline plus exposure. Think in English without trying. Watch full movies without subtitles. Speak longer without pauses. Use natural expressions I had heard. Feel more confident in real conversations. Listening wasn't just background noise, it was active mental training. I used to avoid conversations in English at all costs. But now, I began to embrace them. I created an environment where I forced myself to think and speak only in English for certain hours of the day. I started talking to myself in front of the mirror. What did I do today? How did I feel about it? What will I do tomorrow? These were my mirror prompts. When I struggled for words, I used my notebook or Google Translate, but I never stopped speaking. And then, I added voice recording. I would record my thoughts, listen back, and fix my mistakes. It was like building muscle. Each day, I became stronger. At first, I was shy. But I knew, confidence comes from action, not waiting. I joined a free English-speaking group on WhatsApp and Telegram. We had voice notes, challenges, and even mini-interviews. We helped each other. No one laughed at mistakes. That safety gave me courage. I used language exchange apps to talk with strangers. People learning Hindi while I learned English. Some calls were awkward, but many were exciting. Every mistake I made, I turned into a lesson. I never apologized for learning. The real shift happened when I stopped translating from Hindi to English. I trained my mind to think directly in English. At first, it was hard. My thoughts would slip back into Hindi. But I practiced with simple things. Naming objects in English around the house: door, window, floor, fridge. Describing actions: I am brushing my teeth, I am drinking water. Silent narrating my day as I lived it. Eventually, English became part of my brain's operating system. The biggest challenge wasn't grammar or vocabulary. It was fear. Fear of being judged. Of sounding silly. Of making mistakes. But I reminded myself. Fluency is the reward for those who are willing to be embarrassed. I made English part of my identity. I created an English zone in my room with books, sticky notes, quotes, and a whiteboard. I set my phone and computer to English. I watched YouTube videos, listened to English podcasts while cooking. Read blogs, and even dreamed in English sometimes. Every corner of my life had English. I didn't study anymore, I lived in the language. And it showed. I'll never forget it. I was on a video call with a friend from the UK. We spoke for 30 minutes. I didn't translate, didn't panic, didn't freeze. I just spoke. He smiled and said, "You speak really well. It's hard to believe you started learning recently." I smiled too, but not because of the compliment. I smiled because I knew the truth. This wasn't magic. This was practice. This was discipline. This was me. Fluency is not a finish line. Even now, I learn new words, make mistakes, and correct myself. But now, I love the process. English gave me access to new opportunities, books, jobs, people, dreams. Most importantly, it gave me confidence. I look back and whisper to that scared version of myself. Thank you for not giving up. And if you're just beginning, I want to tell you. You don't need talent. You need time, patience, and belief. Speak a little today. Speak more tomorrow. One day, you'll speak without fear.